Don't start your own business. Stay as a closer. Closers generally can make a lot more money than most business owners can.
True, absolutely true.
97% of all closers apply for roles and get rejected. 3% land the interview and only 20% of that land the actual role.
The most important thing in an interview for me is being interested in the other party. And that goes for both sides.
I need to say this in the script, this in the script. Put the script aside, have a conversation. When you start seeing someone as a person, not a prospect, you're truly there in service.
The easiest way to be liked is to start liking the other person first.
The more money I make, the more people I can help. The more people I can help, the more they can help.
You won one of the biggest companies I've ever heard of in terms of recruiting really talented and good trained people. And we talked yesterday a lot about companies burning those kind of people, which is very unfortunate. What do you think is one of the biggest reasons a really high ticket closer that is really like comes to the company with expectations, with training, wants to leave very early on?
Well, I think the first thing is onboarding. And I want to say this, and it drives me absolutely insane. The amount of business owners that we speak to that think, first of all, I'm going to go hire a closer because that's just going to save my business. They have no systems, they have no onboarding process, no training, and they spend time trying to find a closer. They find a closer, the closer onboards, but onboards to where? There's no systems, there's no onboarding process. That closer leaves, and then the business owner turns around and just is like, oh my God, all these closers are terrible. I can't find a good closer.
Fault.
It's the closer's fault. It's the recruiter's fault. Hang on. Let's slow down. The example that I like to give is, imagine if it's your first day in your brand new office, right? You've just landed the job of your dreams. You've walked into the office. You've been greeted by some incredible people. The managers or the owner has walked you into your office, opened the door, and someone's left the window open. And there's paperwork blowing all over the place. And you're looking around, you're like, is this really my office? You turn around and you look at the owner and he says, good luck, mate. This is your first day. See you later. And you're like, but where do I start? They're like, oh, listen, the paperwork's somewhere. Just pick them up and try and find. Like, that's how closers feel walking into a business with no systems. I mean, if that was me in that office, I'd walk straight in. I'd be like, fuck off. See you later. I'm going. I'm not staying here. It's an absolute mess. If the business owner wants me to organize this paperwork and trying to find my way and then perform, I'm not here for that. So that's the biggest issue. One of the biggest issues. There's plenty more. I'm sure we'll get into that.
I love that metaphor. So, you know, how I pictured that metaphor is like, and that's my experience. You come into the office and you ask, where's my office? And the first guy you ask is like, oh yeah, you should ask Patrick where your office is. It's like, who's Patrick? It's like, he's over there. It's like, hey, are you Patrick? It's like, no, I'm Dave. Patrick's over there. It's like, hey, are you Patrick? Yes, I'm Patrick. I should ask you where my office is. Like, I have no idea where your office is. I'm not responsible. So this is like how it's
happens all the time. Hey, where do I get my email? Oh, ask John. John, how can I get my email? I don't know. I'm not in tech. It's like, well, how do I get my? I don't know. Yeah.
How do I get my laptop? Oh, you have to write a ticket to the IT. How do I write the ticket without the laptop? I don't know.
Yeah.
Ask the IT. It's like, where's the IT? Oh yeah, they remotely write an email.
There you go. There you go. Oh yes, just send a message in Slack if you don't have email. I don't have access to Slack. Oh, it's not my problem.
Yeah. So onboarding is a huge issue.
Yeah.
What else would you say is like tricky in terms of you, or do you have like some examples, some stories that happened to your closer after you transmitted into the company?
So I think it's important to understand, as a recruiter, one of the biggest jobs that we have is we need to vet the business as much as possible with the information that they give us and the audit that we do. So we can only be correct 95% of the time. We mitigate as much risk as possible, but I think it's really important as well to double check everything. So although a recruiter does the vetting, does their process, onboards the client, qualifies them, tries to find hidden gaps, if we can't find something, again, we're only correct 95% of the time. The 5% needs to come from the closer actually knowing what questions to ask on the interview, what they actually are looking for. Are the business owners replying, hiding numbers? Do they feel like it could be somewhere that the business owner doesn't know what they're talking about, or is there culture? So the closers still, before they actually get onboarded, they need to do their own research. They need to do their own vetting as well. Because at the end of the day, if they don't know how to ask the right questions on interviews and they're just a yes man, closers are going to get into a lot of trouble as well. So the majority of the times, yes, it's the business owners, but I think sales reps or anyone going through an interview process, they need to be able to not just be interviewed, right, but interview as well. And I think that's a biggest difference between great candidates. Again, let's put business owners aside for a second. Great candidates, they know how to turn the interview into actually interviewing. So I think that's something that sales reps and anyone that goes through an interview process, they need to understand, they need to learn. But they also need to learn how to objection handle as well. So if we look back, another big issue that we find as well is, besides the onboarding, I mean, we can go so deep into the onboarding. Do they know where all the onboarding documents are? Do they know how the CRM system works? Do they know the type of avatar? Do they know the actual training that they need to go through? Is it, hey, here's a bunch of sales calls that we've done in the past. Go watch the sales calls, and then you're going to jump on the phone. And if you don't know the right information, then you're a bad closer. See, no, you can't give a closer a list of folders to go through and watch some call recordings and expect them to have all the knowledge. You have to have at least a 3-day onboarding process. Each day you have to train them on each and everything. On the last day, you need to do role plays. If they don't pass the role play, then they can't get on a call. Make sure that as soon as you feel comfortable that they're ready to actually jump onto a phone, speak to a prospect that you spent money on to get to that calendar, and you're confident, then put the closer onto the call. The other thing as well is I find a lot of business owners try to hire a sales rep and completely change their script. So this closer is a successful closer, sold over $1 million in revenue over the last 2 years, has an incredible script, it works, gets hired, and now the business owner turns around and says, oh, sorry, Mr. Closer, whatever you've done in the past, forget, you have to use my script. Well, why? They try to use the new script, it doesn't work, and they're the bad closer. So this is something that business owners need to understand as well, is if someone is extremely successful as a closer, don't change their script, change the way they do the presentation, right? Because every business has a different product. So I would do more training on how to present the product rather than change their script.
Never change the running system.
Yeah.
So I've heard a lot of unspoken expectations coming from business owners towards your closers. Would you say there's like a significant difference between the CEOs or the business owners that have actual sales experience and the one who doesn't? Because you were talking about business owners thinking, oh, the closer is going to save my company, the closer is going to save my life. In my experience, those are the business owners who either too scared to make cold calls or have like 0 to very little experience in the field of sales. Would you say there's a difference in between working with the two of them?
I think it works both ways. So those founders that have no experience in sales, they expect a closer to come in and just perform without just the magic ones, just to perform without any training, without any systems. But then you have those business owners that come from sales backgrounds, they have experience, and they think that everyone should close as good as them. It's like, if a closer can't beat me and my close rate, they shouldn't be on my team. I'm going to replace them. Hang on a minute. First of all, Mr. Business Owner, you are the authority. Like, your face is in all the ads. People trust you.
Yeah.
So if someone's jumping on a call with you, they've seen your ads, they've seen you in the VSL, they've seen maybe a thank you page, more information, more testimonials about you. They jump onto the call with you and they're almost starstruck in a way. They're like, oh my God, I'm seeing the guy that I've just seen on social media.
CEO, oh my God,
Incredible.
I'm so important. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you for
so
calling me.
The trust is there.
Yeah.
But then you have a closer that jumps on the call where possibly the prospect thinks they're going to be speaking to that founder, that business owner, and all of a sudden there's a closer. The trust kind of drops a little bit. So I think there's a few processes that need to happen to build up that trust. So yeah, there's every side, doesn't matter if you have experience as a business owner in sales or not, there's always bottlenecks.
Yeah, that's true. Have you ever had like business owners who were like, oh yeah, this is my script, I know it best, it worked for me, now you have to use it?
Like 80% of the time. Literally 80% of the time. So we have this client, they do $3 million a month, mm-hmm. right? Absolutely insane. They take 12 closers from us a month and 23 setters, like savage. Now, part of their onboarding process is you have to use our script. I don't care how much experience you've had in the past, you have to use our script. So, and I may get cancelled for saying this, I may lose them as a client, but I'm gonna say this. We had a closer of ours, I'm not gonna mention his name, we had a closer of ours. I've been closing side by side with him for the last 5-6 years. Like, we started in the industry way back when. He's an incredible closer. Not only is he an incredible closer, he used to be a sales coach as well. So we got him onto this offer and he said, I have no ego, I'm gonna follow their script. It didn't really work. He didn't feel aligned with the script. It didn't feel authentic with the script. So what happened was he jumped onto the offer and the first 8 to 12 calls, he got pulled up by the manager saying, why are you not closing? He said, because I don't feel aligned with the script. Well, I mean, if you want to stay in this company, you have to use the script. It works. We're doing $3 million a month. It works. Sure. What did he do? He's like, do you know what? I'm probably going to get fired anyway if I don't close. I'm going to use my own script. And guess what?
Closed.
He closed 5 out of 6.
What
5 out of 6. So, but I do understand that, yes, if there's a process that works, fine, try it. But what I like to do is, hey, if a closer is confident with their ability, let them use their script until it doesn't work. You know, give them a few calls, and if it doesn't work, then go and change the script. Because it's very hard, you embodying a script, embodying a framework, having great success with it, to then go and speak another language. Like if you now turn around and you say to me, Joel, I want you to speak German to me. I'm like, I don't know how to speak German. No, but you have to do it, otherwise this podcast is going to get cancelled. Well, I can try. Like, wie alt bist du? And that's about it. So, yeah, you got to be very careful with changing scripts.
I just wanted to add on that because there are a lot of very newbie business owners who think it's okay to hire the magic wand closer and don't provide a sales script. And I see that also as very difficult, because if you have no idea what the sales script should be, I feel like it always meant at the same time you have no idea what your like numbers are, the KPIs, like what really like a good conversion looks like towards your product. And if you don't know that, you are not in a position to judge whether a closer is good for you or not. If they're not working with you, like if they're working with you, of course the closer is doing good work. But if you hire externally, it's like, first, don't hire the first person you find nice. I think is a very important thing. And the second one is like provide a sales script and also be able to express your expectations towards the closer. So be able to actually call someone out if they're not performing, but also reward good performance with like a reasonable amount of what's the name when you get Help me out here.
Reward, success, praise.
Commission.
What is commission?
Commission is if you're...
Close. You want closers making commission? Only messing. Yeah.
Don't mess with me in English. Like I'm dealing with 3 languages right now. This is mean. No,
Yeah.
but yeah, sales grid is important to provide, but also if you work with really well-trained people and they come from you, obviously, like cut them some slack.
Yeah. So here's my view on that. So sometimes if you are a new business owner and you're bringing in a closer for the first time and you're trying to squeeze budget, they always go and approach it the wrong way. First of all, they ask about, hey, like I'm hiring, who knows a closer that's looking for a role? Everyone that reads that post, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, even if they're running an ad, first of all, everyone's going to be looking out for their best friend. So let me give you an example. Let's say a business owner knows a closer. This closer is on another offer. And turns around to the closer and says, hey, listen, I'm scaling. I know you're a closer. Do you have a closer that you can introduce me? That closer is automatically going to go to their best friend and say, hey, I've got an opportunity for you. This business owner is looking for a closer. I'm going to get you in. That closer isn't particularly going to go and find the best closer. That closer is going to go and find their best friend. Now that best friend may not be the best closer. So now they jump onto the offer. Because the business owner asked that closer for a referral, they automatically onboard them. And that closer is terrible. So I always say to closers, hey, be extremely careful referring your friends who are closers, because one, it can give you really bad reputation if they're terrible. And business owners, be very careful because, again, closers are going to refer you their best friends, not particularly the best closer. Also as well, if you are running ads and you're looking for closers, do you really think the best closers are looking out for a job post saying, hey, I'm looking for a higher ticket closer, come and apply? Like, yes, it can work, but you have to filter through 200, 300 applications to potentially find one half decent closer. And that's what we see with a lot of business owners is they fail by spending a lot of time, money and effort doing posts, paying for ads, going through all the interviews, realizing that they haven't found the right one, then they have to restart it again, versus going to a recruiter that does the same process, right? But has, like ourselves, we have a database of over 30,000 closers. We have a team of 9 recruiters, 3 headhunters. So whenever we do go and look for a role, we filter through 300 applications. We choose the top 25, we interview them with interview notes, then choose the top 4 to 5, and then send them to the business owner to say, hey, these are the top candidates that we found, including the ones that we headhunted. Which ones do you want to interview? And then it's up to the business owner to then choose and select and interview the top ones. And if for whatever reason they're not happy with the top, then we just carry on recruiting until they find the right one. So business owners, how much time, money, and effort, are you losing by just going through the interview process yourself and just trying to find a closer? You should be spending that time, money, and effort on your own business and growing.
How would you say for business owners who are not so fortunate to work with you, what are tips you can give how to spot a good closer in the recruiting process? Good closer traits, come on, give me 3.
Well, I give you the 3 C's. Conviction, certainty, and confidence, right? If someone jumps on a call straight away and they're a little bit monotone, no energy, no confidence, they have no conviction in the way that they speak, it's like straight away you need to pick up by people's energy, because at the end of the day, that candidate, the closer, is going to represent you and your brand. So what I always say is, even before the interview, closers in the high ticket space, they should be sending you intro videos. So you need to check out their screen, right? Do they look professional? What is the video quality like? What is the sound quality like? What is their background? How do they turn up? How do they look? How do they present themselves? And if all of those don't check out, just don't bother. Because at the end of the day, we live in a trust recession. So if you don't see them on that intro video as, oh, do you know what? I think I can trust this person. They look professional. what are your clients, what are your prospects going to think when they jump on a call with that person? So that's the first thing, is not just the 3 C's, conviction, comfort, confidence, and certainty. It's also the way that they look on camera. That's even before you jump on the interview. Now that you jump onto the interview, how do they handle themselves? What is their body language like? Are they asking you questions rather than just sitting there saying, yes, no, this is my experience, trying to make myself look good, trying to make myself, it's like, no. And this is what business owners never do as well, is they never look out on how a closer handles a think about it objection or a rejection objection. And what I mean is, closers listening are probably going to be like, Joel, don't tell them this, but you need to know how to handle objections. At the end of every interview, if a business owner turns around and says, okay, perfect, well, I have a lot more candidates, I'll let you know. If you as a closer turn around and say, okay, no problem, it's very nice to meet you, hopefully we can work together, see you later, I would never hire that closer. I want that closer to turn around and be like, yeah, absolutely. And before I do go, out of everything we spoke about, do you feel like what we went over, I will be a top candidate or I will be a great performer for your offer? Yes, but why though? Why do you think that I'll be a great candidate for your offer? And why that specifically, right? And then it's exactly the same as a sales call.
Exactly.
And
it's
closers
like
don't do that.
start closing in the interview. Yes.
Or if they reject you. Unfortunately, that's not what I'm looking for. That's no problem. But before I go, can I just challenge you on that for a second? And then go in, but without arrogance. There's a big difference between arrogance and confidence.
Yeah.
Big difference.
You can be humble and confident at the same time.
Absolutely.
It's like when I think about the percentage of people that I wanted to reject first and then like hired after they started to do exactly that, I think I'm at like 80%. Mm-hmm. 80% of the people still got the job.
Yeah.
And I think you said this earlier, it's like, and I find it on both sides, on the HR, business owner, whatever, who's ever doing the interview side, and also on the applicant side, it's like the most important thing in an interview for me is being interested, genuinely interested in the other party. And that goes for both sides. If I'm a business owner and I'm not interested in what the person in front of me, like what drives them, like what are they interested in, why they want to work for me, is like, do they like vacation, do they like money, do they whatever want to grow in my company? If I'm not able to figure that out, I'm not doing my job. And as an applicant, like if I'm going into an interview and I'm not interested in the company, where the company wants to go, what can I grow with the company, what can I offer to help the business owner grow? If I can manage to ask these questions, for me it's also interest in both sides, I think is very important.
Yeah, there's a case that happened yesterday. So we were hiring for a sales manager for a company that's doing 1.5 to 1.7 million a month. So our recruiter we interviewed 27 sales managers, and we found the top 3. The top one that we thought was going to land the role on the interview with our recruiter had the most incredible energy, so much confidence, conviction in their ability, answered all the questions the right way. In fact, we actually interviewed them for an hour instead of 45 minutes, and we had to cut it short. It was just such a great interview. We thought, definitely going to get the job, 100%. 24 hours later, we get a message from the business owner who interviewed this sales manager and said, what a terrible candidate. I finished the call in 3 minutes. And I'm like, hang on a minute. My recruiter was like, I could have put my life that this sales manager was going to land the role, but didn't. So when I heard this message, I phoned up the business owner. I said, I need to understand why, because for us, it ticked all the boxes. He said, I don't know what happened versus your call and my call, but this person jumped on the call and said 3 things that made me just want to hang up, and I hung up in 3 minutes. Those 3 things were, the first thing, turns up to the call, with no energy. Looks like he just woke up, just got out of bed, or he jumped on, overslept, right? First thing. Second thing, he kept talking about salary and certainty. He was like, I really want to jump onto this offer. First of all, I think you're really good at what you do. I've been following you for a while, and I have a family, so I think the salary is part of certainty. So that's what's really appealing to the offer as well. And the business owner's like, I don't want you to have like certainty. I want you to come in and be an animal and really help drive the business. Stop talking about certainty and the salary. So that was strike 2. And strike 3, it was talking too much about him and his family rather than asking information about the business. And it's like, I don't, yes, it's nice to understand a bit about your personal life, but we've just got to know each other. You're here to try and tell me why you're a good candidate for my offer. So I think sometimes with reps is they can have a really good interview with us, but they need to have that same energy, if not better, when they jump onto a call with the business owner. Just because you pass an interview with us doesn't mean that you're going to land the role. And it was shocking to hear how bad he performed after having a good interview with us, which is heartbreaking sometimes.
I think this is a really good example of what happens if the values and the goals of the two parties, if they don't align. Do you have anything in your system, in what you do, to make sure that they align on that surface?
So what we do is, as I love sales, I'm the only one that loves to take all the calls. Maybe it's selfish, maybe it's an ego thing, I don't know, but I want to have contact with the first contact of each client that we're gonna bring in. One, because I've been doing this now for 5 years. 2, I know what kind of clients are going to be an absolute pain in the ass. And 3, I like to build up relationships, right? That's what I love doing. So whether I can help them with our recruitment or introduce them to someone else, I want to be that person. So then what we do is, when I ask them a couple of questions, it literally takes 25 minutes conversation, whether I approve or reject them. Once I approve them, we send out the agreement, they get it signed, and then I book them in on a kickoff call with one of our recruiters. And that is a 45-minute conversation. So our recruiter, before even going to look for a closer, goes in for 45 minutes and drills the business owner hard. Yes, all the data, so make sure if you're a business owner, you know your bloody data, but also, what is the culture like? What is the avatar that you're selling to like? What is the business owner like? But also, what is the ideal type of closer need to be? Whether it's the values, whether it's vision, mission, value, purpose, is what I always say. And then age group, the way that they present themselves. Like, we go into so much detail. So 99% of the times we know exactly what they're looking for. We have all the notes in there written into a lot of detail, all bullet points. And then from the bullet points, we can click the button. It goes into even more details. And then that's also shared with our team as well as the recording. So we make sure that when we are interviewing the candidates, we're also asking about the values. I find in today's world, that is the biggest issue. People don't know their values. People think, I have some values because once upon a time someone said something and that sounds really cool. That's going to be my value. But why? Why is that value? How do you find out your value?
Andrew Tate told me my values.
Yeah, exactly. It's madness. So I think everyone should need, but this is something else. Values can change throughout your life, depending on how old you are and the experience that you've had and the level of life that you're in. Values can change. So how often do you sit there and reflect back on your values? Okay, these are my top 3 values. Okay, but are they still your top 3 values? Do you still value that? Like, make sure you go back and you really understand what you want to get out of life, how you want to serve in this world, and go and check your values. If it doesn't align, there's so many ways where you can go and find your values. What I had to do, I struggled to find my own values. I had to find a coach who, Bogdan Mikov, shout out to Bogdan Mikov, completely changed my life multiple times in multiple different areas. he really challenged me and helped me understand my values because I didn't know my values. So I think if you do want to be successful in life, and this is a huge topic, how can you find someone that can help you understand your values if you can't do it?
Also, how can you check in with your employees' values, and if that changes all the time if you don't do it for yourself?
Never thought about that. Explain.
If you don't know what, like, for example, I don't think you're supposed to know that about everyone in the company. If you have, like, I don't know, 3,000 employees, it's hard to track everyone's values.
Can't micro, yeah.
But every business owner has people on their team who are very important for them, who have like a significant importance for the whole company. And in my opinion, you should really know what drives them, because for me, one of the most important values in terms of employees is perspective and appreciation. And appreciation is a language. So in order for me to appreciate you, I'm supposed to know what language do you speak. So what is the way I can appreciate you that you would understand and recognize this kind of appreciation? And most people just do it with money, because it's, as a business owner, it's a lot of times what you appreciate the most, because it's the outcome of all your hard work and your success. But in terms of people, it doesn't like always have to be money. Mm-hmm. So you can appreciate someone with time off, with like a perspective, a promotion, like they spend time with the family, or maybe some people like to do social events. We live in a world that's very disconnected on a personal level in terms of social media and whatever. So a lot of people actually crave connection and crave friends and want to be part of something bigger, want to be part of a team. So if someone's like values that kind of thing, it's more important to do a vacation together for like the closest circle in the company, or, you know, like do events and stuff like that. So in my perspective, a business owner should check in with that and make sure they appreciate their team, at least the people who are most important for the company, in a way they want to be appreciated.
I love that. And I think that it's a lead-on question there is, how do you create culture in a company? I don't have the answer.
You don't?
I'd like to hear your answer first.
I think first, the appreciation thing, I think, is very, very important. Let's start with the hiring process. I feel like if you don't hire, this is just my opinion, my personal experience, but if you hire people that you don't like, you have a really, really, really big issue in terms of culture. Mm-hmm. Because this, like the thing with liking someone or being liked, is like you don't have to be liked as a CEO, but it helps. It helps if your employees like you as a person, mm-hmm. because like oftentimes is aligned with some sort of like personal respect, and respect just like goes down to values. So when I talk about liking each other, I'm talking about, do the values align? And this is the most important thing in terms of culture. If you have people on your team that are rude, or like, I don't know, they lack empathy or whatever, that they bully new hires and stuff like that, it sounds so basic, but it happens so often. So I feel like if you hire yourself as a business owner, hire people you actually like as a person. And if you do get to a point where you would hire HR, a recruiter, whatever, make sure the recruiter is a person that you also like, because we attract what we are. Mm-hmm. If you hire a recruiter and the recruiter is an absolute, I can say it here because we get canceled otherwise, he will attract those kind of people. So if you have a recruiter who's like very self-centered, very overly ambitious, very like money-driven, he will hire you people that are exactly the same value-wise. So make sure the recruiter is in alignment with your own values. It is super, super important. I saw a recruiter who are really, I don't know how to even describe it. They are always talking from they always come from superiority. Yeah, I struggle with my English here. And they did interviews where they would talk for an hour. They would talk at the person. And I would ask him, like, why do you do interviews like that? You know, like the interview is like you ask questions, they actually, you know, this is how they work, conversation, you know, they something, you say whatever. And they say, yeah, but when I talk at them for an hour, I will see how they react. And this is why when I know if I would hire them or not. It's like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard after the Hunger Games you told me about. Maybe you can tell this later on. So what happened was, like, when I came in, the company were almost bankrupt because they had no employees that would perform. Because nobody actually wanted to work there.
Or work with each other.
Work with each other. And that's because the person responsible for recruiting was someone almost retired and surprisingly didn't want to work. So the person hiring is the person that will attract new candidates into the company. This is one of the most important positions ever. So in terms of building culture, I would always start with this person. And the second most important roles are then the managers, the team leaders. And the biggest mistake I saw is that CEOs would promote according to performance only. This is one of the biggest mistakes you can...
The biggest mistake.
Just promote according to performance. You will have managers that are very self-centered, very egotistic, don't care for other people. So for me, the three biggest traits in a sales manager, in a team leader is, first of all, yeah, performance, but 25, 30% max, and that's it. The second one is, are they really interested in other people? Do they like other people? People, when they want to be liked, oftentimes make the mistakes to present themselves in the best way possible. But the easiest way to be liked is to start liking the other person first. So if you have a person that doesn't like other people, and there are people who say it like as a joke, oh yeah, humans, right? It's like, I don't like other people. That's not going to be your manager. It's like, you have to be a person that likes other people, because then you are genuinely interested in other people's well-being, and this is actually your responsibility. Yeah. And the third part is, and we talked about this yesterday, are they a reliable person? It's like, can you rely on this person? Because if a closer is calling in sick, you can handle, your company will like survive this. But if your team leader, your manager is calling in sick, or is gone for a longer time, or I don't know, found a better offer, you would have a problem. And you would have a gap that needs to be closed immediately. So make sure you promote someone that's actually reliable, answers quickly, doesn't talk bad about other people. So these are the three traits in team leaders I would look for. And if you have that base, you have team leaders that are actually care for other people's well-being, are good role models, so they have the competence to be a role model in the field of what they coach, and they're reliable, you will have a culture that's very, very great without putting any effort into it.
Yeah. I think with culture, some really important points that you said is praise people. You know, how do you have a win channel? So whenever someone closes a deal.
I love that win channel.
Right?
Oh my God, this is amazing.
So whenever someone closes a deal, hey, congratulations, so-and-so made a deal. If there was a personal win or a professional win, post it in there, but also get your team to engage and reply, comment, boost each other's morale. Like if you publicly praise someone and other people praise that person, it creates such a beautiful energy where people are like, yo, I'm genuinely happy for you. I see you and I'm happy for you. When you're genuinely happy for other people and you insert that culture to give back, whether it's compliments, whether it's being a service, whether it's help, everyone wants to help each other, and it just creates this most beautiful energy where no one looks at each other as bad competition, it's healthy competition. It's like, wow, you're doing so great, I see the wins, how can I do the same? How can I jump into that win channel and get people to praise me? So it's like ego, but at the same time, it's ego where everyone's supporting each other, and it's healthy ego.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's something that I absolutely love. You like, there's some companies call it the boom channel, like boom, I just made a deal, or the wins channel. Once a week, what we do as well on a Monday in our level 10 meetings, we always ask all our team, give me your personal win of the week and give me your professional win, right? We praise each other. Because I think if you start off by really thinking about what have you achieved personally and professionally, and you air it, you first of all feel good about yourself and your achievement. And second of all, you see other people praising you. Congratulations, that's a great win. You know, like heart emojis, whatever it is. But then also as well, when you create that type of culture, if you need help, everyone around you is going to want to help you. If you help someone with no expectation in return, then you want to help. And I always talk about being in service to others. This is the biggest thing.
I love that.
This is, I'll go into the story that I mentioned yesterday. So one of the biggest questions I ask closers is, why are you in sales? Most of them turn around and say, because I want to help people. I'm like, but what are you doing outside of closing deals, expecting commissions, that's allowing you to help other people? Well, I'm confused. What do you mean? Outside of sales, how are you helping people? Supporting my parents. I'm like, okay, can I challenge you for a second? Sure. Do you do any charity work? I give some money to a homeless, or a Mars bar to a homeless guy with a can of Coke. What are you doing for charity? That is not charity. I've never thought about it. Well, again, my challenge for you is go and feed 1,000 homeless people. Get a bunch of friends, get 1,000 meals, and start serving. You can use a foundation, there's organizations that can help you, or you can do it by yourself. There's multiple ways, but I want you to go through the challenge because it's an ego challenge. When you are serving, you're going to be hungry, tired, have a headache, hot, people being rude to you. It's not about you. Put your ego aside, put your feelings aside. It doesn't matter how you feel. It's not about you. You could be serving and all these thoughts about your selfishness attack you, and it's like, stay aside, I'm in service. So every time you hand out food, thank you, or clothes, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be here and serve you. Thank you. If you keep doing that and repeat, and you're saying thanks with no expectation in return, and you're surrendering, and you see people as people, what happens when you're on a sales call? You see the prospect as a person, not as a prospect. When you start seeing someone as a person, not a prospect, you're truly there in service. If they jump on the call and they're angry, they're being rude, you don't know what's happened. You don't know if they've just kicked the side of their toe on the side of the bed and they're bleeding and they had to jump on the call and they're angry. You don't know. You don't know if they've had the worst day of their life and this call is going to change their life. You don't know. So put your ego aside. If they're rude, be in service. So once you tap into that energy of being in service to others, and you use that same energy on a sales call, what's going to happen? No expectation to the outcome, no attachment to making money. You truly see someone as a person, and guess what? People can feel that. They can feel you're genuine. You're there, you see them, you hear them, and you're not so focused on I need to say this in the script, this in the script. Put the script aside, have a conversation, which leads on to my next thing, is a lot of these sales coaches out there, they're like, hey, you need to have a script. Other sales coaches say, you need to have a framework. And there's other sales coaches who are like, you don't need a script, you don't need a framework, just have a good conversation. It's all the same. It's marketing. Every coach is marketing it in a different way to grab your attention. Oh, I don't need a script, I need a framework. Oh, I like that. I don't need a script or framework, scriptless selling. Oh, I like that. It's the same. You need to start with a script, to then build it into a framework, to then have a conversation. If you follow a script, you're going to sound fake, scripted, you're not going to be listening, you're going to sound like a robot. You have a framework that's going to guide you through understanding the script into a framework. Once you master that, then you can have the conversation. And once you truly start having the conversations, you sound natural. Because what happens is, so many of these closers, they get trained by a sales coach. And they sound exactly like the sales coach. So what I challenge everyone is, if you're going to come and role play with me, because you want to land a role, you want to get an interview, I want you to get the script that you have. I want you to rewrite the script with your own words. But before each question in your script, it doesn't matter what script or framework you have. What I want you to understand is, why am I asking this question? What am I looking for out of this question? Emotionally, tonality, body language, like the answers that they use. Once you know what you're looking for, how can I say that in a way and words that I use? Because most of the time, there's words in a script that I'd never say in my day-to-day life. Once you turn that script into your own style by understanding what you're asking, then you sound authentic. You sound like yourself. So my challenge to closers is, try and change it, not change the script, but change the way that you say things that resonates with you, so much so that you could then teach that to other people. Because I always say the best way to learn is by teaching others. So
you and Phil Collins both say the same thing.
Oh yeah?
Yes. But yeah, just like be authentic and keep the focus on the other person. Also, if someone's out there is like struggling with mental stuff like depression or loneliness, this oftentimes comes from being too focused on yourself. So being of service is the best thing you can do to change your mental state, because it like takes your attention onto other people, so you don't have the time to feel lonely if you are in service.
This is a huge topic. Men's mental health for me is so important. I've lost too many friends, too many men out there that you don't know they're going through struggles. And if anyone's listening, just reach out to someone. If anyone is listening, reach out to someone you haven't spoken to for a while and just say, hey, how you doing? Yeah, good. How you really doing? You know, no, I'm good. Okay, sure. I'm here if you ever need to chat. Like, it's so important. Yes, when you're going through struggles, it's hard to reach out. It's hard to open up to someone. I get it. But try and be there. And I find that the biggest issue with our industry is sitting in your bedroom on your laptop.
Yeah.
You wake up, you start work, you have lunch, you go back to work, you have dinner, you do some follow-ups, you go to bed. And there's no more socializing. Everyone's so used to socializing online. It's crazy. The amount of closers that I've met. So I travel around the world. Every time I travel to a new destination, I always do a founder mastermind and a closer mastermind. The amount of closers that I've met online that I then meet face to face are so awkward. They can't look at you in the eye. They can't have a conversation. They look confident in front of a camera, but then when they look at you, there's no interaction. They can't approach. They're sitting there in the corner waiting for someone to approach them. They have no game. So the reason why I'm saying this is because if any closers listening to this and you're stuck at home, you're not socializing, you need to get out your bedroom. You need to go and find masterminds, network meetings, even men's groups, and just start getting used to being uncomfortable in uncomfortable situations and start socializing with real human beings. Because if you're stuck in your bedroom and you don't get out, yes, you'll be making money, but what are you making money for? You've made all this money and now you want to go enjoy yourself and you don't know how to enjoy yourself. You don't know how to approach people and you just lose so much happiness. Happiness is when you know you can go out into the world and you can be yourself, you can experience things and get that nerves and turn that into excitement. Nerves is only excitement, just disguised as a different feeling. So get out there. And if you don't know how to get out there, reach out to me, send me a message on Instagram. And I've got so many different ways we can go out and start socializing. But Don't stay locked up in your room. It's not healthy.
Can I add on that? Because first of all, if you're a closer, like the top closers I've met are all depressed because they're all sitting on their laptop the whole day doing close. If you're a depressed closer, this is a very specific description. I want to say to you, it's okay, it's normal. Everybody's depressed. Everybody's like sitting in front of their laptop for 13 hours a day, suffers depression. There's no way to navigate that. But if you go out there and socialize, which I think is very great, I want to add on that. It's like not doing something useful, but also be useful to other people, be of service. This thing about charity is like most people think, oh yeah, if I do charity, I see how unfortunate other people are and therefore I feel better, but that's not the case. You feel better because you are actually useful to someone else and you have like a very significant influence positively on someone else. And this is why you feel better, not because there are people out there who have less than you. And this is very, very important. Jordan Peterson said that if you suffer depression, be responsible for something, do something useful, be of service, because even though you're depressed, at least you are capable of carrying this over there and you are very useful. So yeah, going out, socialize, but also be of service, do charity, whatever. Don't keep the focus on yourself. So I have one last question for you.
Just want to add on to that as well. I think every closer should be part of a community. Yeah. Whether it's online and you don't have time to go out and socialize, depending on the area that you're in, make sure that you're part of a sales community. But make sure that in this sales community, it's not just about alpha energy, hardcore, sell, how much did you make? Make sure you find a coach that also will allow you to open up, to speak about any negative feelings and emotions that you're going through. It's manly speaking about your emotions. It's not manly if you hide all these emotions. So if you are looking for a community or a sales coach or someone where you can feel like you can open up, go onto their Instagram. What are they speaking about? Is it just pure hardcore, like you got to grind, you got to work hard, like money's important? Or do they talk about different things? Are they living the life that you want to live? Are they the person that you look up to and be like, I would love to take a lot of traits from this person? Not be like that person, because I need you to be your true authentic self. Don't change yourself, but make sure that you find someone where you can open up.
One last question. If you can give advice to someone, it's like if you have one gem, what you've changed that had the most and the best impact to your company, what did you do?
Charity work. Charity work. It's understanding that the more money I make, the more people I can help. The more people I can help, the more they can help. And it's the same, the more employees I have, the more families that I'm feeding. So it's not about me. And this is something that I want to mention. If you ask anyone in my team, anyone, you can call them up right now, and you ask them about Nomadic Closer, they'll say the same thing. Nomadic Closer is not mine. Nomadic Closer is ours. Nomadic Closer
is his company.
Thank you. So Nomadic Closer was built for other people. So again, I'm just the vehicle to be able to give access to a company that already has systems in place, a large team, processes. So rather than going out and starting your own business, most businesses fail. So rather than starting your own business, why can't you go and find a business that you like, where they make you feel like it is your own business and you can be an intrapreneur with other entrepreneurs? Being an entrepreneur is one of the loneliest places in the world, because there's building the company, there's looking after the team, there's the finance, there's the good, the bad, the growth, the ad shutdown. Like there's so much responsibility that not everyone can hack it. So rather than try and do that all yourself, why don't you join a company where you feel like you're an entrepreneur, but you don't want to go down the lonely journey. You want to build things with people. So in a way, I built Nomadic Closer for selfish reasons, because I didn't want to be that lonely entrepreneur building a company by myself. How can I build a company with other people? So that's why people that, my my team members, my partners, should I say, we all feel that no matter close, it is ours. And we did one thing in our community. So we have a community called the Closer Career Accelerator, where it's crazy, 97% of all closers apply for roles and get rejected. 97%. 3% land the interview, and only 20% of that land the actual role. So what we do, it doesn't matter if you're new into sales or you've had 5 years experience and you've had $5 million under your belt. How can we help you stand out and be the person that businesses want to hire? So, but in there as well, it's not just that, it's the culture, right? It's being able to open up, having the one-to-ones. So, yeah. And this is something that a lot of closers ask me. They're like, I want to start my own business. Don't start your own business. Don't start your own business. Stay as a closer, right? Closers generally can make a lot more money than most business owners can.
True, absolutely true.
It's so true. And once you understand, and this is what we teach inside the community as well, we use the word leverage. So once you understand how to use leverage, this is what helped me make a lot of money outside of my business while having my business. Or when I was a waiter on a beach club, how can I utilize my place of work as leverage? Yes, I make money from that company. Yes, I'm having fun, but I'm meeting people that wouldn't meet if I didn't work there. So for example, when I worked on beach clubs, I used the place of work, the beach clubs, to meet the rich, to meet the famous, because everyone has a problem or everyone's looking for something. If your product or service doesn't solve that, who do you know with all the connections that you're collecting that can help them with that solution? So, as an example, if you are a waiter and you're working in a nice restaurant and you're meeting people, what else are they looking for? Are they looking to go out to a nightclub after? Are they on holiday? Do they need a luxury car? Who do you know that you can introduce them and make commissions that way? As a closer, if the prospect that you're speaking to isn't qualified or doesn't want to buy your product or service and is looking for something completely different, who can you introduce them to? The other thing, if you're, again, a closer, a sales manager, business owner, how can you have that 90% close rate mindset with every conversation you have? So if you're talking to a business owner as a closer and you feel like one of their bottlenecks is they really need a good person to come in and implement onboarding processes, SOPs, before hiring the next closer, who can you introduce them to? This person over here, right? This person over here is the person that most businesses need. And that's something we haven't even spoken about. And I know we've run out of time today.
We don't have the time yet.
I know.
But, yes.
But yeah, I love what you do. It's a massive gap in the market. And we need to do another podcast.
We will. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.